This training video will walk you through the process to ensure that HR receives the appropriate forms completely filled out. This will prevent any unnecessary delay in getting your bell ringers hired. We suggest that you print out a copy of the Kettle Hire paperwork for reference as you watch this video. The steps we'll go through are listed on the Forms repository under 2017 Kettle campaign. While many bell ringers you hire will apply at your core in person, you may decide that you'd like to post the position on the internet. If you do, the first step is to complete the electronic posting form. Click the Location of Hire pull-down menu and select your location. Enter the start and end date. Enter the hourly rate. Then, if you want to post this job on a website, choose from the following. Enter the number of positions that you intend to fill. To whom are we sending the applications for review? Enter who needs to receive confirmation that this posting was submitted, and then click Submit. You will receive an email stating that sdm.hr has received your bell ringer posting, at which time your position will be posted. Once you start receiving applications, invite those with whom you are interested to the core to fill out the hire paperwork. All applicants, whether they applied online or visited the core to inquire about the position, must complete hiring paperwork at the core. There are many documents that need to be completed, some needing to be sent to Human Resources and others to be taken home by the employee. Accuracy and completeness of all forms is critical to being compliant with state and federal employment laws. Let's walk through each of the documents. The first document is a one-page application. It must be completed by all applicants, even if they already applied online. Check to ensure all sections are filled out. Pay particular attention to the signature lines. The next document is the Sterling Background Consent Form. We must conduct background checks on all applicants. By completing this form, the applicant is giving us permission to conduct the check. The applicant must fill out all 3 pages. The first page has a place for the first and last name and a place where they have the option to indicate whether they desire to receive a copy of the report. They are required to check the second box, acknowledging they read their rights by state law. On the second page, they will again enter their first and last name, their signature, and the current day's date. On the third page, please be sure you instruct them to write in the blanks directly under the bold headings. They must enter all previous addresses where they have lived in the past 7 years. It's critical that the zip code is entered accurately. Then they sign and date at the bottom. It is absolutely essential that their Social Security number is accurate and legible. All applicants must verify that they are eligible to work in the United States. The I-9 form must be completed with proof of identification. All fields must be complete, even if the answer is NA. In Section 1, the applicant enters personal information, check one of the boxes in the middle portion, and sign their name. Then in the gray shaded area, they will check a box indicating whether they used a translator or not. Page 2 is for you as the employer to complete. You will list the documents that the applicant submitted to you. You will need one A list document or a B list and C list document. You are testifying here that you have seen and validated the original documents they have brought in with them. If an applicant brings you a valid List A document, you do not need to see any documents from List B or C. For the first day of employment, please enter the first day of your Kettle campaign. This will probably be different than the date you complete the form. Then complete the rest of the employer information, including signature. The next document is the invitation to self-identify regarding gender, race, ethnic groups, and protected veterans. Self-identifying is voluntary. Should applicants choose not to self-identify, they still must complete the form selecting the box, I choose not to self-identify. The next document is another self-identification form, the voluntary self-identification of disability. Self-identification of a disability is also voluntary, but the form still needs to be completed. They simply check one of the three boxes. If they don't wish to answer, they would check the box indicating such. Then they enter their name and date. On the next form, the applicant will provide some personal information and emergency contact information. We care about our employees' safety. The hand safety and universal precautions forms are in the second part of the packet. You will provide that to them later. This is the verification that they have received the hand safety and universal precautions. Please ensure that they have provided 2 signatures, one for each acknowledgement. Next is the bell ringer, Kettle Worker Employee Handbook, and Workers' Compensation Fact Sheet Acknowledgement Form. You will provide employees this from the second part of the package and have them read it and take it home with them. Here they are signing that they have received and read each form. Be sure to have the employee sign both acknowledgments. Next is the Protecting the Mission for Kettle Workers. They will sign, date, and enter the name of the Corps they will be working at. The next form is the Code of Ethics. They will review the form, enter their name, position, circle that they are an employee, and enter the Corps location, sign, and date. Also have them read all 14 rules of the General Safety Rules for Seasonal Workers, then date and sign. The supervisor also needs to sign and date. Next is the Substance Abuse Policy. They will read through this, sign and date, and print their name. Then we come to the 2-page bell ringer job description. It's important for employees to know what their responsibilities are. Have them review the job description, enter their name, and sign and date, and be sure that you, as the supervisor, signs and dates the job description as well. The last 3 documents that need to be signed are the Labor Code 2810.5, Notice to Employee, the W-4, and the Arbitration Agreement. On the 2810.5, the employee will fill out the top section where it says Employee, enter their name and date. The next section says Employer. That's where you are going to write in the address, which will be different from the employer's main office address. Enter the Corps' address and phone number. The wage information is the third section where you will enter the bell ringer's rate of pay, the overtime rate, which is 1.5 times the hourly rate. You will then check the hourly box. The second page of the 2810.5 is where both the employee and the employer print their names, sign, and date. Next is the W-4. The middle section, A through H, is where employees will need to calculate the number of deductions they will claim. They must fill in the bottom portion of the W-4, numbers 1 through 10. You will need to make sure they are filling in their address, Social Security number, and putting the number of deductions in box 5, even if it is to enter 0. The second page is a worksheet if they need help in calculating their deductions. The last document to be signed is page 4 of the arbitration agreement. Pages 1 through 3 are in the second portion of the packet, which you will be covering in a moment. Employees are going to sign stating that they have read and understand the agreement. You will be giving them a copy of the agreement later. An important note: the following locations are required to complete the San Diego notification form. That would be Center City, Citadel, Croc, and DHQ. You as the employer must complete the form, ensuring that the employee signs it at the bottom. Stop here. You will make a copy of the last 3 documents that they just completed, the 2810.5, the W-4, and page 4 of the arbitration agreement. Place the copies with the pages that come after this notice. This is what becomes the applicant packet to take home. All the preceding forms along with the 3 copies you just made must be sent to sdm.hr, along with copies of the applicant's authorization to work documents submitted with the I-9. Everything that is in the packet that comes after the Stop Here notification is referenced in the previous forms and is to go home with the employee. The items in the packet they are taking home directly correspond with everything they were just filling out. For example, the first page of the packet they are taking home is the Sterling Summary of Rights, which corresponds to the Sterling consent form they signed. Next is the Hand Safety and Universal Precautions and Handbook, on which you will need to enter the location information. The next several pages are copies of acknowledgments they have already signed. And finally, pages 1 through 3 of the Mutual Arbitration Agreement. Before sending any Kettle workers out to work, please determine their pay card situation. If they have a GCC pay card from last year, they may use that. Otherwise, be sure to assign them a new card. Write their name on the outside of the envelope as shown, scan it, and email to sdm.hr. As always, we're here for questions, so please feel free to contact us. And oh, by the way, have an awesome Kettle season.